Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, Teresa Harper. I'm located in Oregon in the United States. Thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate you taking time from your busy day to spend a little with me. So we're going to give everybody a minute or two to get in here, and then we'll get started. Okay. That gives us everybody a chance to find the live and get the notification. And let's see what we have here. Oh, good. Hello, Laura. Thanks for joining me. All right. I have a fun pop-up card for you today. And we're going to mash up a couple of different bundles that were released in the November online exclusives. We'll make a cute birthday card. And you can see how these products work. Hello, Cynthia. Thanks for joining me. As a reminder, free shipping with an order of $75 or more after rewards and coupons have been deducted. Runs through tomorrow, December 12th, and that will finish at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time, or if you're here in the Pacific Northwest, in the Pacific time zone, it ends at 10:59 p.m. tomorrow, December 12th. Okay, hi, Tracy. So that's as a reminder, there's one more day of free shipping. If you're local to me and you want to try and combine orders, just let me know and I will attach whatever you have to mine, and that way you'll still get the free shipping if your order does not reach the $75 mark. Okay. Be sure to check out the Last Chance products while you're there. Stampin' Up! Updated those on December 4th. There's lots of good discounted stuff in there. And now with free shipping, is a great time to shop that list, because not only do you get the discount, then you save on the shipping. Yesterday, the virtual card retreat workshop went live for purchase. That event is an online event and it will be held in January. But when you purchase the kit, you get the online event. And if you have questions about that, go ahead and ask me. Plus, this is a great time to get that kit because you'll save a lot in shipping. Okay. And then if your order reaches the $75 free shipping threshold, it also reaches the product of the month threshold of $75. And then you can add that paper to your cart for only $5. And when your order total reaches the correct amount, there'll be a banner at the top of your shopping cart that will tell you that you can add that product of the month, and it will show you how to do that. Okay, so that takes care of all the housekeeping. And let's go ahead and get started. I told you I'm going to mash up a bunch of products. So I want to show you different things tonight that you could pick up in my online store during the free shipping. We're going to be using Valentine Kisses. We used this on Tuesday night's Facebook Live. So be sure to check out that video that I posted here on YouTube yesterday. And that is a bundle. And when you purchase a bundle, which is stamps and a coordinating die, punch, whatever, you save 10% off of the prices that you would pay if you purchased each item separately. Okay, we're also going to be using the Pop-Up Petals bundle, both the dies and the stamps. I'm going to be using the background stamp Lasting Linen, and I'm going to be using banner sayings for the happy birthday here. But I'm also going to be using the 3 banner punch, which I apologize is not available at the moment. It's out of stock. But we're going to use it anyway because it's what I want to use. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I did do my envelope with addressed to you. I love this little stamp set. I think this is a must-have to have in your collection. And I'll show you that envelope at the end. And then finally, we're going to be using perennial postage. And I'm going to be using the second to the largest of the postage dies here. Okay, this is a product that I think needs to be in everyone's collection as well. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, our card base is 4 1/4 by 11. I've scored that in the middle at 5 1/2. So we're going to go ahead and give that a fold. And then I'm going to bring in my stamp positioner tool. And already on my stamp positioner tool, I have the lasting linen background stamp. So I'm going to take my card base and I'm going to put it on my sticky mat here. And place this in here and make sure that's all going to work. And then we're going to take some Misty Moonlight ink and ink up that linen background. Okay, I've got that. Let's go ahead. Make sure that's all good in the corner. And then I'm going to give that a good press. Okay. And then I'm just going to remove my card base from the sticky mat. Okay. Put that plastic piece back over that. And then we'll set this aside because we're done with that. So now we have this card front that has the linen background. I took a piece of basic white and I cut the second largest of the perennial postage dies. And then I ran this through the exposed brick 3D embossing folder so that we could get some texture on there. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's go ahead and set our card base aside for the moment. Okay, now let's bring in our strips. Actually, we're going to wait for just a second to do that. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this stamping so that I know where to put my sentiment on those strips. So we're going to be using the most of these, well, no, I shouldn't even say that. We're going to be using the bear from, man, that just left my head. Valentine Kisses. I'm going to stamp that down in early espresso. And then I'm going to take some Memento Tuxedo Black. Excuse me. And I'm going to take this little flower from the Valentine Kisses. And then from the pop-up petals, I'm going to take this flower bunch here. And I'm going to stamp that down in the Memento. And then we're going to take Cloud Cover. And this is a white craft ink pad that comes empty, and I filled it with the ink refill for the cloud cover. And so I'm just going to stamp from pop-up petals this little vase down in that cloud cover ink. Okay, let's go ahead and color these up real quick, and then we'll cut them out. Let's move that out of the way. Bring in our Stampin' Blends. So these are the Stampin' Blends that we have. Okay, I'm going to start with the bear. Let's start with Crumb Cake. And I'm not sure, I might need to get a new light Crumb Cake, but we're going to see how this is going to go for us. Sometimes my brush end will work for a little bit, and then it gives out, and I have to use the bullet tip. We're going to start there, like that. Then I'm going to take my dark, and I'm just going to go lightly along the lines of his arms, like that. Then we're going to go back, add just a little bit of light there, and finish this off. See if that brush tip's going to hold out. I think I'm getting pretty low. Excuse me, on the ink in there. Got like this little phlegmy thing stuck in the back of my throat I need to get out. Causing me a few issues. I'm just going to darken that up a little bit there. And then we're going to go with some ivory. And I'm going to fill in the ears. And the muzzle right here. Okay. So we've got that. Now for our flowers, I'm going to use a dark daffodil center here. Here. And I'm going to take the light daffodil while we're working on daffodil. And I'm going to fill in these larger flower centers. And then I'm just going to give a little bit of some dark here and there. And then we're going to go in with some light pretty and pink. And I'm just barely going to dot right at the center, right near the center there on the petals. I just want to give a hint of pink, but not a lot. And I'm going to do the same thing over here on these. Just some quick coloring. This is the kind of card that you can make fairly quickly. You're like, oh, I got a birthday. I got to get that out right away. There you go. And then we're going to take some light granny apple green to the leaves. And we've got a couple of leaves in here. Okay. And then we're going to take the dark granny apple green. And I'm just going to swipe a little bit of dark color at the base of these leaves and along the center. And then we're going to go back with the pretty and pink. And I'm going to do every other section here in the light. And then every other in the dark. Okay, and that is all of our coloring. That is finished. Okay, so set that aside and get it out of our way. Now we just need to cut these out. So we're going to take the corresponding dies for those, which I should have on a card and I didn't do that ahead of time. I apologize for that. That would have just made things go a little faster. You will need this die. I'll show you what we're going to do with that in a minute. It's not on the card here because I do have it out. I'm going to take this die and this die from this set, and then from the Valentine Kisses set, we're going to take this bear here and the little flower bunch here. And we're going to grab our mini die cut machine. Let's just take and get this all set up before we grab the machine and bring it in. Just going to take a little mint tape here. Ooh, that's going to be close. I might have stamped those too close. I needed to move that over about 1/8 of an inch. So I'll just have to run it through twice. It's okay. So we're just going to line these all up. Sandwich them in our plates. We've got base plate 1, clear plate 2, the paper and dies, and another clear plate on top. And then we're just going to run that through. Okay. All right, so let's set this aside for a second. Pull these off of here. And then we're going to take our bear here. I wanted you to see this die especially. Let's just get that all lined up. Stagger those plates just a tiny little bit and run that through. Okay, that's all the die cutting that we have. Let's go ahead and put those away. And when you pull this bear off the die, he's already been cut to receive these flowers or balloons or what have you. Okay, so we're just going to stick our little flowers right in his arms like this. Just going to nestle, whoops, that went a little too far. Just want to nestle that right in there. Just like so. Okay, I am real quick going to take some Wink Stella, put right there in the middle of those flowers. And while I've got that out, I'm just going to put some in these flowers. Okay, I'm going to put those in a magnetic dish here so that they don't disappear. Okay. So there are our pieces right here. Now let's go ahead and bring that white piece back in. And I've got some strips of paper from Country Woods, and I'm using this one in particular. And what I've done is I've cut this up 4 inches, and then I cut these into 1/2-inch strips. Okay, and for the different colors, then they're more than 1/2 inch wide, so you'll have you'll have some pieces that are thinner. So I'm taking these and I'm going to stack 2 of these on top of each other at the same time, just like that. Okay, I'm going to bring in that 3-banner punch. I'm going to slide that in, and I needed to hold that a little tighter on this far end. Just going to slide that in my punch to the center, and I'm going to punch 2 at a time, and that's going to give me a much neater cut than if I just did 1 at a time. Okay, so I've taken different colors of those pieces, and I already did some of those ahead of time, so you didn't have to watch me cut them all. But I am using a couple of those thinner strips that I had left over. And I'm going to stack those up. And they're not the 1/2 inch wide, and that's why I didn't pre-cut them, because I wanted to show you how easy this is. Just put that in, center up those points, and give that a press. And now we've got these skinny little banners. Okay. Now I'm going to take these and I'm going to line these up how I want them. So I'm going to take one of these and this, and then I'm going to put one of these. Let's do this. Oh, like that. So I need 6 of them. And actually, I think I'm going to use this one. Okay. And then we're going to line these up. I'm going to give these ends just a little bit of a curl. We're going to put this down how we want it, right on our paper here, on our perennial postage embossed piece. I'm going to try to line that all up. Okay, get that sort of how we want it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the top 5 down now. I'm not going to put that 6th one down yet, and you'll understand why in a minute. So I'm just going to put some liquid glue in here. Okay, so we'll just put that about like that. Center it if you can. It is liquid glue, so as long as you don't press too hard, you should be able to move it. Okay, let's just keep putting these down. Now, I actually saw Jackie Williams from Australia. She's a demonstrator in the Australian market. I saw her do this with these, with 1/2-inch strips. And I decided I would give that technique a try with this Country Woods paper and this stamp set and see how that turned out and looked. Okay, so now we've got that. And now this bear is going to go here. But what I want to do before I put this last one down, I'm going to bring in my silicone mat so I can see that really well against my background. And from the banner sayings stamp set, I'm going to use this happy birthday. Okay, as soon as I figure out what I do with that stamp. Okay, here we go. We're going to get some Misty Moonlight ink. And I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to put it toward the bottom. In the center. Okay, just like that. And then we can go ahead and add this to our piece here. Yeah, it's a bummer that this banner is out. It'll be back on around the week of January 26th. I know that's not very helpful when we have free shipping right now, but what can you do? It's been a very popular punch. Okay, so now I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to put one over the top of the back of the flowers just to hold those in place. And before I actually put that down, I'm going to add this to my card front. So I'm going to use some Tombow liquid glue because this is a 3D embossing folder. And we're just going to stick this right here and center that up. Okay, now, again, before I go any further, I'm going to set that aside and we're going to work on the inside because the inside will be easier to do when this is flat. So let's take a glue dot. I'm just going to roll that up, put it on the end here. And then I'm going to bring this in, set it down on my mat, take my vase to my flowers, press that down and make that one piece. Okay. Now, for the inside of the card, I've taken a piece of white, and this is not basic white. It's not copy paper. It's a heavier paper, but it's not basic white because I wanted it not to be quite so thick as basic white, but you can use regular basic white. And this is 4 inches by 10.5, and I've scored it in the center at 5 1/4. And then I took that long, skinny die from the pop-up petals. That's this one right here. And I've laid it along, there's 2 little arrows. And I've put those arrows along the center score line. And then I ran it through my die cut machine. Okay. And what that has done is it has cut a pop out for me. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop this up like this. And I'm going to gently give that a fold there. And here. Okay. Then I'm going to fold this on the score line. Even this all up. I'm going to give that a press. And I'm going to press this down right here. And then give that a good burnish. And then when we lift that, we've got this little pop-up mechanism. Okay. Now, before we do anything else, we need to stamp our sentiment on the inside. And so I've taken from the Valentine Kisses the sentiment that says, sending lots of love your way to celebrate your day. And I dropped the block in the ink. That's not good. And then we're going to ink that up in Misty Moonlight. Okay. And then I'm just going to stamp that down right there. Okay. And there we have our inside sentiment. Now we're going to take our card base. We're going to line up our score lines so that they're right on top of each other and our card is centered side to side. Okay. I'm going to fold that up. I'm going to bring in my liquid glue. And I'm not going to put any glue on that piece there, right? I don't want any glue on that. Let's get that open like that. And we'll just put our glue down. And then I'm going to bring this back in and open that back up. Center that line and the papers and give that a good press. Okay. I want to make sure that glue is adhered. Okay. Then we're going to take and pop this down. And take some more liquid glue. And this time, I'm just going to take and close that front just like that. Okay. And then when I open it back up, it's all glued down. All right. And then we're going to take our flowers and put a little bit of glue on the back, only on the bottom. And then I'm just going to pop that up like that. Make sure that vase, by popping that pop-up up, then I know I'm not going too far down. Okay, and then I can lay that down and give it a press. And now when I open my card, I've got these vases that pop up. Okay, let's go ahead and finish off the front of our card here. Pull off our little bear. And what did I do with there they are, my tweezers. I'm going to center this here. I'm going to have that bear standing on that last banner there. I'm going to put that down. And then I'm going to grab some flowers from the Hues of Blue. I think these are on the last chance list. But that's going to go really nicely with our card. So let's see. Let's just pick. I'm going to take one of the cloud cover ones. I'm going to take one of the Misty Moonlight ones. And then I'm going to take a small cloud cover and put over here. Okay. And there is our cards for tonight. That little pop-up mechanism. We've got the Valentine Kisses. This will show you that just because the Valentine Kisses says it's a Valentine set does not mean you have to use it for a Valentine. You can use it for birthday cards. It would make some sweet little baby cards. That is what we have. And then for the envelope, I took the Addressed to You stamp set, which also released in November, and did the envelope. And I can't find that stamp set. I had it right here, but oh, it's hiding. Of course, I buried it. This is the Addressed to You, and like I said, I think this is a must in everyone's collection because there's no naked envelopes. Sorry, you guys. Thanks. I'm so glad you like that. Anyway, that's what I have for you tonight. Remember, end of free shipping. And I will see you again next Tuesday night on Facebook. Next Thursday, I will not be live here on YouTube. I will be attending a middle school band concert. And then the following Thursday, I will be out for the holidays. So just to keep you up where I'm at, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. on Facebook. And then it'll be a couple of weeks before I'll be back here on YouTube. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Share it with your crafty friends. And if you need any Stampin' Up! Supplies, you'll find a link in the description below after this video posts that will have a link to my online store. Thanks so much. Good night. Oh, hello, Lavinia. I'm guessing you're new to our channel. I just want to make sure I say hello before I sign off. Good night.